gonna die. Going too fast. I'm taking 3.
I'm going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and today we are going to take a look at a battle I had in the Chaapayev. Yes, and of course we are on Trap. Now, while the battle is loading up, of course, talk a little bit about German battleships, obviously, working my way up the line here on the German battleships. I'm still only at the Kaiser. Right. If anyone has gotten the Kaiser, it has its moments, I suppose, should say. Whereas I am looking forward to the conning at tier 5. I understand that that's going to be a nice little upgrade. Anyway, in the Chaapayev today on Trap. So with the Chaapayev, I think I'm about 30,000 experience away from the tier 9 Russian cruiser, and credit-wise, I'm still probably about 6 million away. The reason for this, obviously, is I've been working and spending money on my German battleships, right? As buy the modules and whatnot, buying those modules and those upgrades for the battleships, and I probably am going to be spending the majority of those funds on German battleships, at least up until maybe the tier 5, and then we'll get the tier 9 Russian cruiser. Not 100% sure, but I mean, if you guys have any feedback on that, definitely is appreciated. If you would prefer to see a tier 9 Russian cruiser floating around, or a maybe higher tier. Remember, I'm grinding all of this, right? So I can't just do it overnight. But maybe, like a tier 6, tier 7, tier 8 German battleship. Let me know what you think. Anyway, obviously I'm going to lean towards the Russian cruiser, just because it is in fact a cruiser, and I'm curious about it anyway. So we're on Trap, and I do decide to move up here to the north, in and around the C point. So we do see that C is being capped right now, so we definitely know that there is a destroyer in here at C, and I'm trying to just sort of play it safe. And it's not that I'm afraid of the destroyer. What I'm afraid of are the enemy ships behind the destroyer, right? We can see some of them start popping up here. There's a Mogami that has popped up. So it's these ships that I'm actually most concerned about, because as soon as I get spotted by the enemy destroyer, those enemy ships in the background will start firing at you, which is also, pretty good advice for any cruiser captain out there. Now, it doesn't always work that way. We have a good example. We saw quickly my allied Mogami actually, did charge forward and is one of the first cruisers spotted. But this player, obviously has a few tricks up their sleeve, and is able to actually make it work. So that's nice to see. Anyway, I'm circling around in the back, just using my range to my advantage right now, just so I can get a better sense of what is going to be coming into the C points. We do see the Mogami here that we're firing at. We also notice a Hipper, and we also notice another battleship, and there's the enemy destroyer finally that's popped up as well. I thought about using my radar, but I figured it was just too far away at this point in time to actually be any use, and plus we already have all of the ships popped up, so I thought I'd save it just in case, maybe even for the eventual push. Now here comes an allied Arizona. I wasn't paying attention at all, and I just smashed right into the side of this this player, and I do quickly point out the mistake and apologize for it as well in chat, because I wasn't paying attention at all. Anyway, shots go out onto the Hipper. We're going to try and get our ship rather, moving forward once again. We don't want to just sit out here, not moving. You can see that we're spotted right now, so any battleship in the background could come in and actually start landing shots on us and doing some pretty significant damage to us as well. So we just continue to rain down shots here on the enemy Mogami, the enemy Hipper in the cap, and I'm pushing forward a little more now as well, just to, again, kind of, get into the battle a little here, because I was actually getting a little frustrated with myself that I wasn't being a little more aggressive, and feeling that I was playing it too far back, right? I also don't want to play far back, because I don't want to encourage that in game, because it really, really is frustrating when your team just won't cap the points at all. It really eats away at you. Here we have the Russian tier 7 battleship. Now I am going to try and pronounce it correctly, but it's still probably going to be pronounced incorrectly. Nice now. I understand that the G is silent, much like gnome or gnat. So, thank you very much for the comments. So we had the Knives now out there. Put a few shots into her, but you know, just let her move along. We do still continue to have the Hipper that we're going to fire in, and then this is the Tier 6 German battleship. Sorry, the Bayern now, or I believe Bayern. Probably mispronounced that as well. But this battleship, my understanding is that this battleship is quite a little beast. More so than maybe what you would expect from a New Mexico, which really at Tier 6 with the battle before the introduction of the German battleships at Tier 6, you know, if you wanted a good, strong, sturdy battleship that could, you know, duke it out at close range and whatnot, be more comfortable at closer ranges, it is definitely the New Mexico. The Fuso, right? The Fuso is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I love my Fuso, but she's not that good at close-in combat because she doesn't have the armor to be able to support, you know, receiving multiple high-caliber hits to the sides. Anyway, we're still continuing to fire in on the Bayern here. Now, it was again at this point in time they started thinking to myself, well, you know, Thotgor, you're really kind of being a hypocrite here, aren't I? Look at this. I'm way back. We're just out of it, right? We've got the my allied battleship in cap, actually attempting to cap. And I'm way out of position and not even able to help. I'm trying to turn around and trying to help. This is my intention, to go in there and help the player out. But I'm not going to make it there in time. The player will die, and that does suck. So I got a little, you know, angry with myself at this point in time in the battle because, again, very hypocritical, right? I know it's a safe thing to do and all that crap, but if we do take a look at the caps, like, right, you know, we're looking at the minimap, the enemies have the majority in caps, so we do have to make an aggressive play. Maybe, you know, I would have died if I would have made that play in there with the Bayern, but at least I would have been satisfied that I did what I could to help out an ally. So we have the Knives now there, over there, just sort of poking around, so I'm going to immediately start engaging the Knives now if I can. We also do still have the Hipper at play as well, so if I can start getting some shots into the Hipper, this would be ideal. Given, of course, that I am in the Chaapayev today, the main goal, obviously, right, is to set as many fires as possible to as many ships as possible to get people burning down as quickly as possible. We can see a naked Thotgor pop up in the distance. Again, it always surprises me to see this still happening. Maybe the player thought that they took away the camouflage on the Thotgor. I have no idea, but it amazes me when I see this. Anyway, shots continue to rain in there on the Hipper, but you'll notice on the minimap that I'm going to be coming across an island, right? Here's the island there. So now we have the Knives now here. And I know that the Knives now is waiting for me, right? And so I am trying to turn. Now, again, the Russian cruisers don't turn so great, even with steering modification. So I am still going to have somewhat of a broadside. So we got our shots going out into the Knives now. Now, the biggest difference between the Gneisenau and the Scharnhorst, of course, is that the Gneisenau actually does have high caliber guns on her. We can see that, right? She just took half of my health. I wonder how many citadels that was. Probably at least 2, I'm guessing. But that's really the biggest difference between the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau. I mean, the Gneisenau is a little faster as well, I understand. And of course, the Gneisenau does not have torpedoes, whereas the Scharnhorst does. Now, I believe the Gneisenau makes up for the lack of torpedoes with a little better AA, as opposed to a little better secondary armament like we see on the Bismarck versus the Tirpitz. Anyway, Gneisenau went in behind an island, and I'm going to start firing it on this enemy New Mexico off in the distance. Put as many shots as I possibly can into this player, hoping to set a few more fires, and the whole time here as well, I need to remember to dodge. We need to start dancing the dance here, because I cannot take very many hits at all. About half health. The Gneisenau is definitely focused on me now as well, so I'm going to try and get the Gneisenau on fire, stem to stern. That's going to be the objective. Now, we'll also notice a Bayern is coming across coming out from behind the landmass there as well, so quickly I'm going to have 2 battleships to deal with a half-health Chaapayev, so this should be interesting. Now again, you know, given that earlier in the battle I was a little frustrated with myself for staying away from the fight and sort of cowering in the back, I am conscious of the fact that I'm driving straight away from everyone, but I don't really have a choice right now. If I turn to try and go either to the west or the east, I'll present the broadside and I will be taken down. So just have to start, dance the dance and avoid these shots here. So continue to put shots into the Gneisenau out there, and we do have 2 fires set on the Gneisenau at this time, so that's pretty great. If I can get a 3rd one going, that would be awesome. That hopefully would then, stem to stern, she's on fire, and the health would really start to go down. Now, I do also have to keep in mind the incoming shots from the Bayern behind the Gneisenau there. I really don't want to, die at this particular point in time. I haven't done a whole bunch of damage, so I wanted to get some more damage in to get some more experience, obviously, even if we were going to lose. But I do have 2 different shots that I have to, 2 different ships that I have to avoid shots from. Obviously, the mistake the Gneisenau makes here is turns off, right? Now, obviously, the Gneisenau player didn't want to chase me down, which thankfully didn't want to chase me down, so had to turn, right, presented that broadside, which then opened up the opportunity for me to rain down some shells and get some more fires set. Now, we see shots coming in. I believe it was from the Bayern there, and did take me down to probably less than quarter health, so this is not good. Gneisenau is swinging around once again. I'm trying to make up my mind. Do I want to continue up here in the north, or do I want to go and help out at B? I'm trying to figure out as well on the minimap where my allies are, right? Where the majority of my allies are. And looking at the minimap, I looked at it and said, I'm going to continue the fight up here at the north. We already do have the B point. By the time I get down there, most likely B will already be capped, and the action will be happening at A, up here at C, so I may as well just stay up here at C, do what I can. At this point in time, I have no ambitions of living. I didn't think that living was going to be possible in this match anymore, but I'm going to do what I can while I can, right? So we do still have the enemy German battleship off in the distance, and obviously I'm going to be raining in shells in this sky, trying to get the player on fire as quick as I possibly can. If we do look at the minimap, we do see that we also have some other enemy ships coming into play here as well that we need to choose. Now, do I want to shoot at the Bayern, who is on higher health, or do I want to shoot at the New Mexico, who's on lower health? I was actually going to continue with the German battleship until I saw the dive bombers drop in here on the New Mexico. Now, I know that that is actually wrong. I should not want to continue with the German battleship, but I did for whatever reason. Dive bombers came in and snapped me out of it, though, and I saw the dive bombers lit a fire to the New Mexico, and the New Mexico put it out. So I knew that any preceding shots that I put in that set fire, that fire will burn to fruition, and hopefully will actually take down the player as well. So that's exactly what I'm going to attempt to do at this point in time. So we do get some fires set here on the enemy New Mexico, and as well you can see that I have allies around who are also engaging the New Mexico, right? So we're all kind of focused on this ship here, trying to bring the player down and prevent the player from getting back into the B cap zone, because we have since capped B, which is fantastic. Now, circling back around, now that the New Mexico is gone, we're going to focus on the German battleship, and luckily for us, the German battleship is not paying attention to us whatsoever. This player has bigger concerns in the way of another allied battleship that I have out there, so fantastic. If I can also set fires to this player, get this player gone, this would be excellent. So we do see as well my allied aircraft carrier is all over the enemy battleship here, adding to the damage and to the fires that have been set. We can see more dive bombers on the way in, and I am just going to continue to rain in shells here, try to aim them as best as possible, because I do want to hit the superstructure of the ship to set that on fire. 2 fires in the 1 salvo there, which wasn't too bad at all. You can see that the dive bombers went in as well. They did a bit of damage. I get myself a nice little witherer medal there as well, which isn't too bad at all. The enemy battleship here is almost dead. You can see the player is on fire, so, just maybe another few more hits and that player will be gone, or, yeah, there we go, just burn down the player. So fantastic. There's 1 kill for me as well, and about 87,000 damage dealt so far. Now, the majority of this, obviously, is burning damage. So now that we have A and we have B, trying to figure out where I need to go next, where would be the best place for me, so I do decide to head in between the space of B and C, right? Figure if there are any enemies, and we do see the enemy now up there, that they will be in this general vicinity. And again, I'm going to try and keep it distance because I don't have the hit points to get in too close, but I am going to try to continuously burn down these people. Just take the enemies down and hopefully get victory for ourselves. So far in the battle, it has been fairly close. You can see that the enemies are still, in the lead in terms of points overall, but because we have the cap advantage, we should be taking the lead here shortly, assuming the enemy doesn't sink too many more of our ships in too much of a rapid succession. That would not not be good. So we do see the enemy cruiser off in the distance, and I'm sizing this player up, thinking that maybe this will be the player that I'm going to start firing at. I'm also acutely aware of the enemy Gneisenau. Enemy Gneisenau player, we'll see later in chat, was frustrated with the level, or with the amount of fires that I was setting. And I mean, we had the whole little dodges going on there, right, when the Gneisenau was trying to kill me and I was dancing the dance. So this player has had about as much Thotgor as this player can take. So I need to keep this player in mind, because obviously that, whomever is at the wheel there is going to want to take me down. I am going to be priority 1 for this player. We do see an enemy destroyer making a play on B, right? And B is now contested. So this isn't so great. I did really actually want to try and get into B and start helping out as quickly as I possibly could. I can't go any faster than I'm going right now, though, because we're at top speed. But still, I wanted to get there as quick as I could just to help out with the enemy destroyer, because I knew that enemy destroyer, was probably going to sit around and just try and keep the point contested. There is also an enemy cruiser at C. We cannot forget about this player. I believe it was an Thotgor. We do see the player pop up on the minimap there briefly as well. We see some enemy dive bombers coming in, but those are on the way for the Nuremberg. I do target them. But I did hold off on the defensive fire ability of my AA. We briefly saw the Thotgor there, so there we go. Player pops up once again on about half health, so I need to really land some nice shots on this player, do a bit of damage, and set fires, right? So there we go. There's one fire already set to the Thotgor, and we can see that the Thotgor continues to burn, meaning that the the repair party is on cooldown, so that is not going to be an option for this player, unfortunately. Again, we mentioned it earlier, it's the same player, negative Thotgor, no idea what's going on there, but there it is. So we land a few shots, do a bit of damage here, and we also have the benefit, of course, of my allied Nuremberg, I believe it was, who is also landing shots in on the enemy Thotgor. Now the Nuremberg, I believe, is firing the armor piercing, whereas I'm following up with the high explosive to keep the fire burning here, and as well just to add to the overall damage. So we see a few more shots going in here. Thotgor's on very low health. It just looks like I need to hit him with a few more, but burns to death, and there we go. Don't need to worry about the Thotgor, and we're up to 2 kills now as well, so that's not too bad. We briefly saw the enemy destroyer, so I quickly popped my radar ability here. Perfect time to use it. We see the enemy destroyer. We can see that the allied Mogami put a few shots into the enemy destroyer. I've got some shots going in, finish the player off, and the player's gone, and that is my 3rd kill, so fantastic. Enemy Gneisenau, yes. Player is back. So firing at my allied Mogami, right? Not paying attention to me. I'm pretty low health here, so I do start immediately throwing shots downrange and set the player on fire. A little bit of an island here on the port side of the ship, so I've lowered the speed to 3/4 and I've begun a starboard turn. We can see it passing here on the port side of the ship, so I know that I'm not going to hit this, and I can use it as cover. We can see another fire set to the Gneisenau. Gneisenau player just let us know in chat how pleased he is with how well I'm doing in this battle. But anyway, want to try and take down the Gneisenau. Now this is another part here where I lose total situational awareness, right? I am focused, laser focused on the Gneisenau. Look at the minimap. We see enemy planes coming in. I don't even see them. Firing now at the enemy Pensacola, thinking, all right, Thotgor, we're going to get ourselves our 4th kill. Fantastic. Thinking I'm real lucky there with that shot. Oh, God. Yeah, not paying attention at all. Situational awareness is always so important, especially in the situations where you have so much to lose. Because for me anyway, my weakness I definitely know is, in these situations like this, just like what happened, laser focused on the ship. I don't see anything else around me. All I see is the ship that I'm trying to fire at, and we see the results of that. Anyway, we'll jump over to this Tier 6 German battleship, the Bayern. Again, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, I don't know. But just while the battle ends here, the enemies only have 1 aircraft carrier remaining, so most likely we're going to be able to call this a victory here. I give an old GG there in chat with the LOL, because obviously I know that people on the enemy team are rejoicing that they managed to kill me. So, yeah, whatever. We do see some enemy planes coming in onto the German battleship here. I I don't know, but I think that this is the stock hull on the Bayern. So this attributes to, you know, the lack thereof of anti-aircraft armament on the ship. I think we can expect some better anti-aircraft armament on the final hull of the Bayern, but I'm not 100% sure on that, right? I don't have one of these myself, so I haven't actually taken a look at them in too much detail. But anyway, it looks like a decent ship. I mean, I'm excited to get into the conning at tier 5, and I mean, when I get into the Bayern, this will be interesting as well. Obviously, though, mention it again, I really want to get into the tier 7 battleships. And I was thinking the other day as well, right, when I was buying the Scharnhorst, because for me, I mean, if you guys haven't figured it out on the channel by now, I have a huge bias towards Japanese and German ships, obviously. Germany in particular, for a lot of World War II games that I play. Anyway, I was thinking, you know, the Tirpitz came out, I had to buy the Tirpitz, because it's the Tirpitz. The Scharnhorst came out, I had to buy the Scharnhorst, because it's the Scharnhorst. The Prinz Eugen is most definitely going to be German premium cruiser. No idea when it's coming out or anything like that, but I'm going to have to buy that as well. And I was just started thinking and adding the numbers in my head, and it's like, oh my god. Oh, these damn these games. But anyway, they're fun enough, I suppose. So we can see my allies hunting down the enemy Lexington here. My ally battleship switch over to high explosive, put a few rounds into the enemy Lexington, but time runs out on the clock before we manage to finish them off. Oh well, still a nice victory. Good game. Even though I died, I was very, very satisfied with the results of the game. I played maybe a little too safe at times, but I'm glad that I was able to actually see those situations and correct it when it happened. So I walk away, well, not walk away, but 245,000 credits, 109,000 damage done. I think it was 3 kills, second on the team overall. I walked away with the Witherer medal as well, which is always nice to take away. In terms of damage dealt and who was done to what, we can see how some of this has broken down here in terms of the fires and whatnot as well. And then of course at the end of the day I do walk away with about 98,000 credits, more importantly about 5,400 experience, which is fantastic, and like I say, about 30,000 away from the tier 9 Russian cruiser. Let me know what you think, what you would prefer to see: tier 9 Russian cruiser sailing around first, or German maybe tier 6 battleship floating around first. Leave that in the comment section below. Also leave any other comments you have for me as well. I love reading those and responding back to them. Hit the old like button if you liked today's video. Hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.